My name is Kocinski. I am from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I have been working for almost 10 years as a freelance video producer and filmmaker and animator.
So, how did you get started with film? Like, what made you want to?
Well, I know I've heard a lot of stories and seen kids who might start with their parents' camera and just making movies with their friends. And I kind of started off similar to that, but more on my own. I would take my dad's camera and he would buy me film for it, and I would make little animations with it. So I was mostly by myself. One time, early on, I made a pumpkin carve itself by just moving the knife a little bit at a time. And I just loved shooting on 8mm film and seeing what I could do with it too. And I did that for a little while, and then my uncle actually gave me his old video camera, and then I started using that more. And he always took video of family vacations and events and stuff, and I always hung out with him and wanted to see what he was doing and how he was doing it. And even my grandpa was doing that too for a while, where he's taking the video and I would just sit next to him and watch him work the camera. So I feel like on one hand, I was doing it for fun, and then on the other hand, I was learning how to do it for a profession as well.
What kind of film do you like to produce?
Well, when I was in college, I produced mostly experimental films, and I found that in the 4-month time period that we had to make a movie from beginning to end, you couldn't really make a half-hour epic film. You could make a 10-minute narrative and it would be great, but all the kids that were in school with me were making these long half-hour, sometimes hour-long film noir-ish detective stories, and I said, I just want to keep it simple. And I was a film student and an animation student, so I was actually finding ways to kind of combine both of those, and I was actually starting to be able to use one project almost for 2 classes, because they both kind of incorporated elements. Or if I would do something for film, there's the film aspect of it, the narrative or the live action part of it, and then I would put elements of animation in there, so like rotoscoping and things like that, so that this way I could combine both disciplines into one film, and they would both count for 2 different grades.
Okay.
Yeah. So now, as a postgraduate student for the last 8 years that I've been working, I've done a little bit more narrative stuff. I did a short film in 2007 called Confession Stand, and then I did a feature film in 2009 called Sweet Mint. And Sweet Mint was more or less just my opportunity to make as many mistakes as possible and learn from those mistakes, and then apply those lessons that I learned to the next film. Since then, there really hasn't been a next film, because one of the lessons I feel that I learned was raise money and pay people. Because even if it's just $20 for gas, it goes a long way. And it's hard to ask people to do things for free. So if you have that incentive, it goes a long way. And I'm also trying to do a little bit more documentary stuff. I feel like I have a documentary in me somewhere that I want to get out, even if it's just 10 minutes long.
Yeah. Future goals?
My future goals, I'd love to professionally be in post-production, doing the editing for other people's films. On the side, I don't feel like my own films, I make them to make money. I may have to raise money to make them, but I don't necessarily worry about making money.
Right.
So I still have to earn a living. So I want to still use my talents to earn a living, and I think that in the strongest area that I have is post-production and editing. And so my future goals is to kind of get more into filmmaking from a post-production aspect.
Do you feel that it's necessary to leave Milwaukee to pursue your dreams, or do you think you should stay in Milwaukee so it can grow here?
I don't think it's necessary. I think these days you can do anything you want anywhere you want. I personally kind of want to branch out a little bit and go to some other cities